Mr.
Bond.
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 Bond. James Bond.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to January and another Ultimate Bondcast. You're back with Mike and Chris. How are we, Chris?
Oh, I'm great, Mike. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm happy we're on the podcast because I'm having a bit of a January blue week.
Wow.
To be honest, it's been hard.
Let's see if we can sort that January blues out. Happy New Year to everybody as well that we haven't spoken to already. Or is it too late? It's 14th. I think when it's in double figures, we're not allowed.
It is our first time in 26, so technically, Happy New Year. You know what I mean? I'm not going to ask you how your Christmas was. That's overkill, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, I don't even remember anymore.
too many drinks and all that, really. By the way, we're doing a live ranking today, guys. So if you are watching us live, hello to Manny on YouTube.
Hey, Manny.
Hello to us. This is an interactive show today, so we'll explain a bit more as we go along, but we would love you to contribute as we go along. So we're back anyway, and the idea today, guys, once we get into our swing of things, is we are going to go back almost to where we began, because would you believe, Chris, it is our the anniversary. We are 12 months old.
Are we?
That's mental.
Wow, we're a year.
Made
That's incredible.
But in line with that, so if you're new to the Bondcast or you haven't seen our channel before, go and check us out on YouTube and Facebook. But we have reviewed so far all of the Bond movies that are encompassed from the Sean Connery era, and we have also done, obviously, On Her Majesty's Secret Service in the middle. But we wanted to do an overall ranking of these movies before we erupt into more the Roger Moore era, don't we, really, from that?
Yeah. I'd say so. I think Connery. I think every Bond's era feels different, so I feel like it's kind of apt if we look at ranking each era on its own. Definitely,
it absolutely does. I think that's the interesting thing as well, that this is the only era where we've got a hiatus between the actors, so we can go back and forth a little bit, which will never happen again. But you will also find, if you watch our previous videos, as Chris has marked down for today, every time we've done a review of that film, we have done a ranking out of 10 based on that our opinion of that film. Now, it's quite biased at times because we've only watched them in order. Therefore, we're going to rank them in accordance to that. But we're going to use our rankings we've done now against what we did then and see how cringy our answers were.
Yeah, So basically, the word ranking was used a lot then. Basically, we're choosing our favourites today. We're ranking them against personal preference, and we'll see how that reflects in our scores at the end of the day. Absolutely,
and it's interesting to see how these are going to come up, because it must be because you've seen the rankings, because you've put together our slides.
I put together the incredibly professional presentation.
Oh, it's PowerPoint at best, isn't it, really?
PowerPoint, mate.
But before we get stuck into the throw of things, we're going to do what we always do, Chris. But guess what? New titles for Bond News. Oh yes, absolutely. That is also copyright being.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect that we're getting claimed for the intro, so I'm not worried about that breaking news. That's fine.
We will just say hi to Carl in the chat. Carl, nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us through Facebook. So nice. Enjoy the show, and absolutely let us know your views as we go along with the show. From there for you. But we're into a fresh new year, fresh new season of Bond on the horizon, including games.
You've just pulled your mic out, mate.
No, it's back on. It's back on. I was so excited. But anyway, a lot happened while we were away at Christmas.
Can't wait. Let's hear it.
Shall we start on the bad stuff first? Because that's the good way to go, and then we get better and better.
Yeah.
Chris, we had a death.
Ugh.
I mean, it's not surprising, but it's never welcomed, is it?
Yeah, no, it's very sad. Very sad.
Yeah.
Great film, great character in that film as well.
You do have to forgive our pronunciation. We're not particularly fluent, but
I don't have to attempt it.
Is it Kari Hiroki Tagawa? Am I pronouncing that correct? Tagawa? But at 75, not particularly old if you look at it in that spectrum, really, is it?
No, not really. Not really.
All that.
It's very
So
sad.
very, very sad to see that we've lost another actor in the Bondiverse, if you like.
Thoughts are with the family.
Absolutely, and condolences. But in good news, this is almost shocking news, guys. Would you believe now it's 2026? It's 20 years since Casino Royale hit our screens. I mean,
that's shocking. That is shocking.
Doesn't make sense. That does not compute in my head. I remember that vividly. Like one of my most peak Bond films in my youth, I suppose. But as a result of this, with its 20th anniversary, we're now going to be getting a special screening of Casino Royale at the Royal Albert Hall in London. That's going to come out around December time, so a little bit away, but it's good because I believe tickets are on sale, so it means you can get in there early by going to the general website for the Royal Albert Hall.
What are you thinking, mate? Christmas gift to each other?
Yeah, why not? Let's go and
have a couple of drinks,
a couple of martinis, 007 bar after. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Boys, from there, we're going to follow that. I think we should absolutely. Shall we give you some more shocking news? Now, I have to apologise. If you watched our Christmas show just before we cut off,
that's the end of the sentence. We have to apologise if you watched our Christmas show.
It's you are wrecking me as you go along, aren't we? But we did mention that at a point, the new game 007 First Light is on the horizon for March, and to my disappointment, it's been delayed.
Yeah.
How?
Gutted. Just after we'd done the video as well, really.
It almost made it look like we weren't informed, really, isn't it?
Yeah, they didn't let us know.
How dare you, Iron? But yeah, May, it's not a massive delay. It's not a GTA 6 delay like we've been promised for years, but I want the game. I think it's going to be fantastic, but I would rather they bring it out when it's ready and polished. I don't want an unfinished game.
You get it so often, don't you, nowadays, where a game will be released unfinished because they're just pushing themselves for a certain release date. And that's more important than making sure that there's a game that's complete. So, yeah, I agree with what you've said. I think let's have a game that's finished. And I can wait an extra 2 months. That's fine. It just makes the anticipation even greater.
It does. And it also gives us time to save up and pre-order it, Chris, as well. So
yeah, that as well.
I'm not a rich man.
I've just got to change the week that I'm ill now. Yeah, I've got to be ill a week in May instead. I'm on holiday in May. It's terrible. It better not come out. What was the date in May?
20. Hang on, bear with me. It was the 20. I can't see it.
I'm back. 27th. I'm back by then. That's
27th. Right. So we, if it was, we would delay it just for you, Chris. Though, absolutely.
You see, Carl wanted a remake of the old GoldenEye 007.
Oh, that would be a great plan.
Wouldn't that be good?
I know they did GoldenEye Reloaded, but it wasn't like a general brush up of the old game. It was just a retelling, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think to get the original GoldenEye would be, such a good opportunity. But I seriously doubt they'll go that route.
I think they would smash online like multiplayer, though. People would love to jump back on GoldenEye online multiplayer. That'd be amazing.
Well,
not that it ever had online, but...
It's shocking, really. However, I want to also echo something that we did highly linked to last year. We think we know. I think I pretty much know who Bond is going to be. The odds are stacking up, and it's Callum Turner that's looking extremely likely as Bond.
Yeah.
Now, this is probably welcome or unwelcome news to you guys, but he's a very young actor, but it means he could probably play Bond for the next 20 years and not even break a sweat. So, if it does turn out to be Callum Turner, I think as a likelihood it will be, then I think at this point, bring it on. I'm all for a young Bond, as long as it's not an inexperienced Bond. I just want a young face, no prequels or nothing like that, really. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same. The thing is, with picking a Bond, you are never going to please everyone. And in fact, you're more than likely going to disappoint most people with your choice, unless you go for the really obvious choices. So I'm happy to just put my faith in Amazon, MGM, whoever it is that's making those decisions, because I think he's fine. I think he looks great. I'm sure they'll make a good decision, like they did with Daniel Craig, like they did with Pierce Brosnan. we've not really had a bad Bond, have we? You know, we can have a conversation around George Lazenby, but you know, we've not had a bad.
Leave George alone.
No. Actually, he's rubbish. But anyway.
No, well, Manny's okay with Bond
Cool.
being possibly Callum Turner, so
That's
yeah,
good.
look, it is in the wings. We don't really know, to be honest with you, but all the same, that is a possibility on our horizon. And with that, my friends, that is the end of Bond news today.
Wow.
Shocking,
we don't get an outro graphic.
No, if I'm being honest, my side panel is actually frozen, so no.
Oh, okay. So maybe we would have. No, I was just curious whether there was some sort of way out of the news. But no, that's fine.
If anything, actually, Chris, I'm going to be really unprofessional here. I'm going to do a quick refresh of my screen. So if you give me 30 seconds, I'm going to be able to go back to it, and then we'll do an outro. Bear with me.
Anyway, Mike's gone. He's gone to find the new graphics. So anyway, what we're going to do when Mike returns is we're going to rank our Sean Connery Bond movies based on preference.
We are.
Mike, if you can hear me, you're not there. You're just a black screen.
Oh, I am back.
We'd be really interested to hear what your views are on the Connery era, including On Her Majesty's Secret Service, because it's obviously in the middle there, in between Diamonds Are Forever and You Only Live Twice. So I feel like it's a great time for us to look at it now that we've been reviewing those films and they're fresh in our minds.
Are we just going to can we recap on?
And I've seen the lists. I know our lists are different, so I think there's going to be some interesting conversations to have there.
Absolutely.
But,
should we do a recap of the numbers?
So yeah, drop in the comments and give us your lists, or at least give us your views on ours when we start talking through them. But I'll get the incredibly professional PowerPoint presentation up in a minute when Mike returns, and I can not waffle on my own vamping here.
I don't know if he can hear me, but I am here.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I just ended. I just got to the apex of my vamping, and I couldn't go on anymore.
The joys of live streaming, guys. But my panel's now unlocked. So before we do our bit, Chris, can I just say that was Bond news.
Well, there we go.
It didn't feel complete, if I'm being honest.
Well, if it helps, Mike, I've done the intro. Everyone at home is well aware of what we're doing today now.
Fantastic. Should we just recap on the titles in case you guys aren't aware of the cinematic order? So we started with Dr. No in 1962. 63 gave us From Russia with Love. 64, which is very uncommon to get all these rolling numbers now, was Goldfinger. 1965 was Thunderball, followed by You Only Live Twice in 67. We then took a brief jump.
They had a break for the World Cup in 66, did they? They had a chill in 66.
They knew something was happening. They went, well, we don't want to wreck their spotlight, you know.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You carry on.
69 brought us, On Her Majesty's Secret Service with a change to George Lazenby. And then we reverted back in 71 to Diamonds Are Forever with Mr. Connery. So although this is a predominant Connery countdown, we're going to cover that movie as well from there, really.
Still the Connery era, though, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, look, this is a really, really diverse moment, really. And I'm really excited to see what's going to come up. So I'll tell you what,
you've moved yourself out again, Mike. There we go.
I just wanted to make sure you were on top like normal, mate.
There we go. My mouse is ready, mate. My mouse is ready. How amazing would it be to get 4 Bond movies in 4 years now?
Oh, God.
What a treat.
It would be. It's unlikely to happen from there for you. But I think if we look at our countdown now, we know the reality is I don't think there's going to be any surprises if you've watched.
Do you want me to reveal the first one?
What is number 7? Yeah, this is going to be...
Goldfinger?
I mean, I'm always shocked, but
Diamonds Are Forever.
I mean, that's just briefly cover why we suspect Diamonds Are Forever. Why did you put it as number 7? Essentially?
Okay, so it's an interesting one because I think Diamonds Are Forever will end up being in the conversation for my least favorite Bond movie of all time. So is that it's not just the 7th best out of all of these. I do think it's one of the weaker Bond movies. That being said, in our rewatching of it, there were elements of it that I very much enjoyed more than I remembered. Carl, completely agree with you. It's definitely Connery's weakest. I don't think Connery was phoning it in as much as perhaps earlier films. I think the money helped,
Yeah.
but I
The
just
lack
think the
of
story wasn't
dedication.
great. It wasn't a Connery film, was it?
No, that was, to me, that was a Moore film wrote with Connery starring in it.
Yeah.
And I
Connery
think
in
Roger
it,
Moore
yeah.
could have passed those moments off that were maybe a bit cringy for Connery a lot better. That was his style, personally. I know there's a lot of fandom for Diamonds Are Forever, but for me, it just, I don't know, it just felt like a struggle to watch it. And it's not, I haven't had that with any of the other movies that we started watching, from Doctor No up to even On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I really didn't have a moment where I was looking at the clock going, oh, this is bad, and is it nearly over? Oh, I've got another half an hour to endure. It's an honest chore for me, and I would honestly say it's the only Bond film I feel like that watching. Only one.
But me too, possibly. I can't wait to see the others. I will say Mr. Winter, Mr. Kidd are genuinely a shining light in the film.
Yeah.
Some of my favourite villains, henchmen, in any Bond movie. Great double act. The only real great part of that film for me.
Yeah, I think the thing is, the weird thing is, Connery wasn't the strength of Diamonds Are Forever, was he? It's better in areas, but it wasn't because of Connery, in my opinion, which is ironic that they brought him back for that exact reason, really. I do think the car chase is pretty good, but except that little cut, the really bad cut when he slides it through. It
goes one way and then the other.
It goes the other way, and then they just put a little green screen to cover it up. It didn't hit the mark.
No.
I also didn't like Bond getting his ass kicked by two women so easily. I mean, he didn't literally. Connery was known for a brutal Bond, wasn't he? He was the rough as nails, tough as anything. Who he's fought, Odd Job, Franz, really big guys. And it's the fact that it's not that they beat him; it's the fact that he got beat so easy. I
think we said before, Plenty O'Toole went through. Not Plenty O'Toole, Tiffany Case went through a weird character change, 2/3 of the way through the movie as well.
They didn't know what to do with her, did they?
Such an independent woman, and then at the end, she just became this weird, Benny Hill background
damsel.
Extra. It was so weird.
And she was quite strong all the way through it.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. And then something happened madly enough that we did it, really,
Trying to think of other nice things to say, though. I do think Charles Gray wasn't a bad Blofeld.
Manny's just hit the right note there. Connery looked bored in the film. I would concede that. Yeah.
He looked bored in the last three.
Yeah, it's clear that the money had a part in
I
there.
think he looked worse in You Only Live Twice, but definitely he looked done.
In its strengths, though, Diamonds Are Forever, a tune with Shirley Bassey, phenomenal,
great
absolutely
song,
phenomenal.
great song.
We can't judge the song by the movie. You judge the movie by the song at times, don't you? Really?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Can I just say one thing that did make me cringe about Diamonds Are Forever, though, Chris?
Yeah, of course.
So there was a bit. I don't know if you recall it, but there was a bit at the beginning where he's hunting Blofeld down, and it's that bit where the guy puts the gun out the mud randomly, right?
We said this, didn't we?
How long has he been sitting there waiting?
I know, right? No,
it's
the gun just fires fine.
It didn't make any sense whatsoever, did it?
No, it didn't.
But not many things with Diamonds Are Forever did work. So I think that's quite obvious why we've gone with number 7, and that's not going to be controversial at all.
No, I don't think so. I'd be surprised. I guess other people might have other opinions, but I think the general consensus would be that this is the lowest of the 7, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
Are you ready for our 6? Or are you?
I am. I think this is where it's going to get interesting. Yeah. So go for 6, Chris. What have we got on our board, mate? What are we looking at?
Are you ready? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Right. So I've gone for Thunderball, and you've gone for Dr. No.
Yes.
Very opposite ends. So
do you want me to go first this time with
why?
And you can tell me about Thunderball. I guess we're going to talk a little bit more about each film a little bit further up, so we'll try and keep these a little bit shorter. But
absolutely.
So Dr. No, I think was we'd have nothing else without Dr. No. I think Dr. No, to clarify, is way above Diamonds Are Forever in quality. I just think it falls short because it is the first outing. It is maybe a little bit stilted in some places. It shows its age maybe a little bit more than some of the other films, and I just think that perhaps it just hadn't found its feet yet. There's nothing against Dr. No for that, but it just doesn't quite get there in the same way that the later films do.
And I suppose the challenge is, like with all the movies here, we've got to put it somewhere as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think if I'm not wrong in saying, Chris, you're saying Diamonds Are Forever is like way down here.
Yeah,
even though it's after it, it's up here.
Yeah, and the arguments could be made. Sorry, I'm getting really loud now. Arguments could be made for some of these films to interchange, but definitely not Dr. No and Diamonds Are Forever. It's going no lower than 6.
That's perfectly fair. So not there's anything wrong with it, other than you've got to put it in and it fits appropriately where you think it's going to be, basically.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's a good film. It's not a great Bond film, but it sets some of the standards. Just doesn't do them as well as any of the others, really.
Okay, that's perfectly fair, and I will express my own views obviously as we get closer up to it. But that's a perfectly fair outcome. I mean, let's know in the chat, was Thunderball right to be at number 6, or should we put it a bit further up from there for you? Sorry, Dr. No. Sorry, not Thunderball. Dr. No.
We definitely should have put Thunderball further up, but we'll get into that.
Well, we'll discuss. This is the controversy now, isn't it? But yeah, Thunderball. Right now, Thunderball's a bit of an odd one for me. Okay, because. Like what you said about Dr. No, Thunderball is not a bad Bond film. I don't want people to think I put it at number 6 because it's terrible, because no, it's not terrible. I just think in terms of the good things about Thunderball is it branched into the sort of like high-octane Bond. It was the birth of the high-octane action, the car chases, the water, jumping out of helicopters. Yeah. Things that Bond subsequently in other movies hadn't done at that point, maybe because of production value or budgets or whatever. But it did push the boundaries. That's why I think it's a good film. However, I've got to put it at number 6, simply because it's probably one of Connery's weaker performances in the role. There's probably a reason behind the scenes, because he seems at times a bit flustered, a bit like the continuity's not been quite thought out appropriately. So whilst it's a really fun ride, it's probably 20 minutes, a little bit too long. In my opinion, they could have condensed some bits down. But there are some phenomenal action sequences in that movie. Underwater shot as well, which was so rare in the 1960s, in the quality that they were done in. So, yeah, it's just the fact that it's a Bond film. It's a great Bond film. I just don't feel like I can put it anywhere else other than underneath or just above Diamonds Are Forever.
No, I understand that. I do. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've got views on that. I have a very different experience with Thunderball, but before we rewatched it, it was a film that I hadn't seen in a long time. It wasn't a Bond film that I tend to go back to. So
no, I'm the same
experience.
I would happily just turn the page in my folder where my DVDs are, my Blu-rays are, and not because I don't like it. I want to go to Casino Royale, or I want to go to GoldenEye, or The Living Daylights, or something like that. But and that's the great thing as well, guys. If you haven't seen our reviews, go back and watch them. And really, and so we go quite deep into these, and we offer balanced views on the whole thing, really.
Carl's spot on there.
Carl, what a man! Yeah. What a man! This guy has got to subscribe before he leaves our stream tonight. Yeah, the bottom line is that when you look at our reviews, is we've done them in order, and we are viewing things real time that we didn't see many years when we watched it on our own. We're making notes, we're analysing it deeply, and that's why some of our scores are going to be quite shocking from there.
I think so too. I mean, Lorenzo's spot on here as well. It is really difficult to rank them. I think when we get higher up, there are arguments to be made for any, and it's almost like there's not a wrong choice.
Absolutely, and this is totally your opinion, Paul, as well. This is just what me and Chris thought. Are we wrong? Tell us from there.
And on that note, let's move on to number 5.
Yeah, I'm interested in this one. Let's see what we've got.
Okay, so Dr. No didn't fall too much further then.
No, which makes it less controversial, but I'm intrigued on You Only Live Twice.
But should we start with Dr. No, though, because we've just talked about it? If we finish off...
Yeah.
Do you want to crack on with Dr. No?
Yeah, look, right. Again, but like you said, Dr. No was in every way Bond in terms of a production team finding its feet. Okay. And I suppose for me, I forgive it for that reason. So some things are a bit bad. I vividly remember on Crab Key, as we can see from the beach pictures on the screen there, there's a particular moment, I always remember this, where you go where the boat hunts him, Honey Rider, and Quarrel down on the beach. Yeah. And there's always this bit where he goes, he's talking through the loudspeaker, like, "Oh, you're going to come out? You're going to do this?" He moves it away from him. His voice is identical. It's still echoed. It's still loud.
Oh, yeah.
It's bits like that I still, although I go, that's awful, I still love it, really. But Dr. No was quite broad. It was quite gadget, light. It was purist Bond, the coldness of killing Professor Dent, the suaveness of the first time we hear Bond, James Bond. There were some great moments in that movie. But it's not polished. There are some things that are wrong with it,
I think if you're looking at performances of Sean Connery, it's definitely top 3 Sean Connery performances, definitely.
Good villain as well, actually, with Joseph Wiseman as Dr. No as well.
Was good. And
really
I think
strong villain.
We said it before, but that Professor Dent scene where he shoots and kills Professor Dent is epic. So good.
Yeah. Now, there's a rumor going around quite heavily. The opening to Casino Royale where he kills the guy in the office in the pre-credits, that was inspired by Dr. No.
I wouldn't be surprised. It had that same calm, conversational menace to it, didn't it?
And nobody delivers a colder line than Connery, is there? No. Smith and Wesson
is amazing.
Had your 6, So, yeah. For me personally, I just have to put it at that number because I think they were better in the run. That's the only reason for it. No other reason it's a bad film.
No, I agree.
Talk to us about You Only Live Twice. That hasn't popped up yet at all. So
no, it hasn't yet.
Why 5? Why at 5 position, Chris?
I think I said a lot in our review of this movie, and with my score for this movie. But for me, it's Sean Connery's weakest performance. And I know that Diamonds Are Forever is objectively a worse movie, but in this film, he's totally checked out. You could tell he's ready to go, and obviously he does go after this movie, but he's just not there. I don't like to be one of these people that looks at movies and says, "Oh, that was really poor," for even though it was an older film, but. His Japanese makeup is really bad. I think the Bond girls in the film are not good, really. Kissy and Aki, I don't think they're great.
I'll give you that.
The best Blofeld, there is that. I think that the third act is fantastic. I think Little Nellie's great, but it just doesn't wow me like some of the others. I think it's like Thunderball. It's very cookie cutter, isn't it? They found their formula and they're sticking to it. I just don't think it hits the same heights for me.
It was ambitious, wasn't it? Really, You Only Live Twice. Not saying it landed, but it was ambitious.
Agreed. Yeah, it was. It's not a bad movie. It just falls a bit flat for me. This one. Yeah,
and Carl's probably onto a good point there on the chat, by the way, that he was probably getting tired of a movie every single year, and I can understand that. I mean, you've been the camera, probably 6-7 months of a year every year for about 4 or 5 years. It's gonna drain you mentally. So I wouldn't, there's a reason. I think that's the important thing to do. There's 2 sides to every story on this ranking, really. I think that's fair points, Chris. Any other thing you'd like to say about You Only Live Twice?
I like the song. I love I think some of the incidental music in the background is some of the best of the Connery era.
Yes.
But
yeah,
exactly.
That is brilliant. Yeah.
And as I said before, the Donald Pleasance Blofeld, I think his layer, that's all fantastic and very classic Bond. It just doesn't do it for me like some of them do, but still enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point, and I'm really interested when we get around to this how this looks against our original poll, our own sort of ranking. So, fair point, not an issue there at all. And like you said, Dr. No, not particularly far apart from each other. So views are kind of aligned there.
No, I think so too. I think that'll be a common theme.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, hello to you guys on the chat, of course, if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like the page. More of the Bond events are coming this year with us, and we want to have you on board with the journey with us on that one. Chris, number 4, where are we at? Let's have a look.
Number 4 is...
wow,
look at us.
Okay.
Look at us.
Okay, this could be a long conversation. So, on a Massive Secret Service, go first, mate. Go on.
Okay. This is a really interesting one, isn't it? Because it's one of those where if we were judging it purely on the Bond, it doesn't fall very high. But it's such a good story and it's shot so well. It's a beautiful movie that it just lifts quite an average performance to real heights. Like it's such an impressive film from a cinematography scale. You know, to look at, it's just gorgeous, and it's a great storyline.
I'm going to echo that completely, because whilst it's fair to say, and I'm going to back on my previous view earlier in the year, Lazenby's Bond, not great, let's be honest. And you are right, mediocre at best, you know, from there. However, that being said, yes, you're right, the movie was shot so well. Its cinematography, the Alps, the backdrop, Piz Gloria, the beaches they use. I actually think the love emotion between him and Tracy is wonderful. I really, you know, I do buy into that quite a bit. And yeah, in ways, now this is weird, Chris. I saw the other day on TikTok, and I wish I could find it because I'll put it on the show for you. But there was an AI video showing where somebody had very carefully used AI and put Connery into a brief like montage with Diana Rigg on a Massive Secret Service. And I've got to be honest, I don't know if Connery would pass off well in that movie, only because I don't see him as being the loving Bond. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think by the time this film came around, Connery's Bond had softened. You know, he was more caricature of himself at times in some of his later Bond movies. So yeah, I think this needed a more reserved, harder acting than Connery would have given it.
Yeah, and Lazenby, in fairness to him, was very good at action sequences. You know, in terms of fighting, choreography, some of the deleted scenes we looked at, like the chase sequence, still did them. I know it didn't make it to cut, but he still embraced them without stuntmen as much as he could get away with, really.
Agreed.
So
yeah.
There's respect there from there. And Carl's also right, it did follow the book quite closely. We obviously met Blofeld in the previous movies to this one, which was You Only Live Twice in the canon. However, meeting him in this movie, they don't know each other. It's not because of the change of actor. They stuck to the book narrative. That was the first time
almost to the Blofeld. Fault of the film. Because it's confusing as hell. But Telly Savalas, great Blofeld.
Good Blofeld. Definitely a second follow-up to Donald Pleasance in terms of top level, you know.
More of a physical match for Bond in this film.
I think the weakest Blofeld is that funny bloke that's in the chair at the beginning of Your Eyes Only. That's the only one I don't unnamed, you know.
So here's a random. Is he weaker than Christoph Waltz as Blofeld? You think?
Yeah. I like Christoph Waltz as an actor, to be honest with you. So
I mean, I love him as an actor.
I'm okay with him on that one. But the bottom line is, though, that was a novel book. That was a novel movie. It was made based on the novel. One of the rarities in the Bond franchises, to be honest. Yeah. So credits where it is. It's not a Lazenby win, but that movie, for me, is probably, out of 26 movies, it's in the top sort of, I would say, the 10 to 15 region, somewhere around there.
I'd say maybe 15. Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in the middle.
Let me ask you this then, because we've talked nice things about it. What keeps it from the top 3?
Right.
Not in the other films. Like what keeps it from the top 3?
Contrary to what I said, Connery. We need Connery, and I think that change was too big for the audience. So for me, it's the fact that it's like, who's this guy? You know, in a strange way, and also why. We know why he didn't do more, but why didn't he do more? And maybe we'd be much more accepting of George Lazenby if he did 2 or possibly 3 movies. So it's just a bit of a pill to swallow, personally. And this is the Connery countdown, so I had to consider that it's not Connery. You know. There. What about you from a negative point of view?
So similar. I wouldn't say it's not Connery, but it is Lazenby. Like I think Lazenby struggles through some of the film. I think not because I dislike him, but he just it's clearly he's not an actor, and he does struggle a little bit. I think they overuse dubbing in this film. He's dubbed through like a third of the movie, and it's so painfully
the
obvious.
Charles Gray thing.
Yeah, so that really takes me out.
Sorry, Hillary Gray, not Gray. Hillary Gray.
No, I know what you meant. So yeah, I think. Sorry, I've got a cat invading my personal space, like Blofeld. Now he's gone.
I'm about to say, is it a white one?
No, it's not. But yeah, so from a negative point of view, there's that. I think that it maybe goes on a little bit long, and there are some slow bits that maybe just take the pace out of the film a little bit. But other than that, I think it's a good film.
That was exactly the word I was going to use. The pacing seems a little bit off at times from there. But I will pick one more thing to its credit, though: the ski sequence. Wonderful. Beautiful. The way it was done with the chase. I dare to say one of the best ski sequences, limited as it is, in the Bond franchise, I think, really. Forget Lazenby, the action sequence was brilliant, I think.
I completely agree. I will say that one more negative.
I can see your reservement there, Chris.
No, I agree with you. I'm just thinking about what I was going to say. That's all. I was listening. I just think this wouldn't happen to the other guy as well. That I sometimes I just can't get past that line.
I'm exactly the same. And if I was an option to go to
losing your voice there, mate.
Oh, sorry. Well, I would just say that if because the camera zoomed in, if Amazon get a chance to re-edit the movies and release them again, just cut that line, please. It's no one's really going to miss it, And it also opens up a lot of conspiracy to the codename theory, and I hate that,
So yeah, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, middle of the road.
Absolutely. Let's get us into the top three, because this is where it's going to get a bit fiery now.
I feel like I know what our top two would be, so let's see.
Do you?
Whether I'm right.
Oh, yes, you are right. But in what order?
It's the battle of the formulaic Bond movies from Connery, isn't it? I love it.
Right. Well, look, we have touched on Thunderball. So, would you like to go first in regards to Thunderball?
Twice. Okay. So, the thing with Thunderball, and I know we both said it on the review, we enjoyed that movie so much more than we expected we were going to, and I mean that because we've both seen the film multiple times. But again, it's a film that maybe we don't look back on quite as fondly as other movies. I had such a good time with Thunderball. It is formulaic, it is cookie cutter, it is very much the Bond standard movie formula, but it's it's done so well. Largo, I think, is a great villain. I love seeing all of the double O's in a room, like the photo that you've got there. I feel like the Bond girl is great. The locations are stunning. The underwater scenes are amazing. Him in his red scuba gear is iconic. The Blofeld killing people by pressing buttons, and frying them in their chair, or it's just classic. So quintessential classic Bond. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching Thunderball.
Okay, look, I don't disagree with anything you've said, because every point on that one, I think one of my particular favourites there is the whole double O's in the same room, something that very, very rarely happens in the entire saga of Bond. And it'd be nice to just have a nod that one of them maybe was Alec Trevelyan and stuff like that. And, it'd be nice. I know it's way before its time, but still it'd be nice. So yeah, Sean Bean living as he always doesn't, Right, on to so that's your Thunderball view. You only have twice. You've obviously put your point across, but let me just make this clear to you. I love this film. Honestly, I don't think its pace is off. You can't ever argue against the volcanic lair. What a brilliant set sequence that
amazing.
is. The henchman, although slightly unmemorable, was a good fight with him at the end with Franz in the above the piranha tank. That was nail biting. The fight with the sumo guy, in the office where he's got the sword. I think the sequences were shot incredibly well. I loved Little Nelly. I loved the whole. Like I said, Donald Pleasance was the Blofeld for me, the only decent Blofeld personally. From there, but I agree. The Bond girls. Not so memorable in this one. They don't play as key a role. We get a second half one that's playing his wife. We don't really get connected to her.
And dubbed as well,
Yeah, that's it. And obviously the main Bond girl dies fairly early in to the movie as well. So we don't get a lot of time to bond with her. Bond.
Whee!
Yeah, I've got a little, where's it gone? Something for that. Oh no, it's disappeared on my screen. Oh yeah, here we go.
Manny's already shouting out who number 1 should be.
There we go. Goldfinger for number 1. Manny, you're definitely going to be right one way or the other. It's in the top 2, so who knows? But yeah, look, that's the only reason I put You Live Twice. I love it. I think it's a fantastic film. I don't think Connery's performance is weak. I particularly like the running across the rooftop sequence as well, where he's being chased by guards everywhere. And I think the aerial work on that and the flight with Little Nelly, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I just do not think it beats Goldfinger or From Russia with Love. That's all. That's the only reason it's a third.
There's something that, despite our love for You Only Live Twice and Thunderball, I actually don't think it comes close to the top 2. They're like in an upper echelon for me.
If Goldfinger's number 1, you need to hit subscribe. Bottom line. So there we go. That's a deal.
Okay, mate. All right, boxed yourself into a corner there. It's funny because the films are, in some ways, are like two sides of the same coin, aren't they? Because they are Connery's formulaic films. Sorry to keep saying that word, but like,
no, they are. They definitely are.
But they both have very striking scenery. The setting, one in Japan, one in like the Caribbean, or they're just gorgeous to look at, and they're jet setting Bond girls, great villains.
Yeah, I almost feel like we could see more of some of the I feel like sometimes the downside to Goldfinger from Russia with Love is the lack of villain time. That's the only downside to it. But it's without a doubt one of it's Connery's strongest performances, without any shadow of a doubt there for me personally.
Can't disagree with that.
You have
Let's
to
move on to our number 2, mate.
This is going to be before you do. This is going to release number 1, as obviously we know what it's going to be.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously,
so I might as well reveal them both, Martin and I, because we'll know after that. And all I can say is, I'm sorry, Manny, because Goldfinger is not number 1.
No, I mean, look,
and Russia with Love is number 1.
2 is an absolute beautiful place to land, though, isn't it?
Can I just very quickly say it was incredibly close.
I hurt doing this countdown. If I'm being weird to sit and do this, and I messaged you on Facebook Messenger and go, "This is so hard."
It is. It's difficult. It is difficult.
From there, but we're in the same position. So let's jointly do number 2 then. Why Goldfinger fell to 2 and not number 1?
It's so difficult to say why 2. See you soon, Manny. I've just seen.
Well, we've backed ourselves into a corner. We have to live with it, but unfortunately. But that being said, we'll look at.
I feel like our Roger Moore views let more our reviews of those.
Come back and resubscribe at that point. Who knows?
So. I don't think I can say like why it doesn't hit the heights of 1, because I feel like they're both so similar. I'm going to talk about how amazing the movie is and why it deserves to be in the conversation for the best Connery movie. It has possibly the most iconic villain in any Bond movie, and some of the most incredible set pieces. It's beautiful to look at. You got some of the pictures there. You got the DB5, Connery in his white tux, Pussy Galore on the plane. Odd Job. There's so many like iconic moments. some of the lines in the film, like, do you expect me to talk? It's just great.
That is biblically ingrained in film history, that, isn't it? It's using spoofs. Some people, you could go to a party somewhere who doesn't even know James Bond, and you could say to them, "Do you expect me to talk?" And they will know the answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course they would. So yeah, you tell me some things, and then we'll go back and forth.
Right, there's never a bad Bond film when you've got a DB5 in it. Bottom line,
no.
So DB5 is always going to be a winner for me.
Was it DB5 in Skyfall? Not Skyfall. Quantum of Solace. Was it DB5 in Quantum of Solace?
No.
I can't remember. If it was, you're wrong.
It really wasn't. Nor was it in Moonraker either. But we'll go back to that one another day.
I don't know Moonraker.
But for me, right, so Connery slipped into the role confidently in this one. He is cool as ice, best performance, most engaged, and I think strongly he is in his more sort of more efficient killer mode, if you like. Really, he's an efficient spy, but he can take a guard down without a moment's thought. Except somebody like Oddjob, who is just an absolutely brilliant henchman, one of the top two in my opinion.
Yeah. He's great. You're not allowed to pick him when we play GoldenEye, but
okay.
He's great.
Can I have Jaws?
You can have Jaws. Definitely have Jaws. Absolutely. I'll be Baron Samedi and we'll be fine.
Yeah, we're doing that this year. N64 time, double playing GoldenEye. And Carl, come back and join us for that. We'll try and do our best to make it as new as possible for you.
So, yeah, so it's so quintessential Bond. I think some of the things that maybe don't get it to number one, and I think it's more that From Russia with Love is good. I can't really pick holes in this film.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to be really, really nitpicky, it's a shame that he is sort of hamstrung by being a prisoner for so much of the film.
Yeah.
And I feel like Fort Knox is maybe shoehorned in a little bit because they're trying to appeal to the US audience, but that's being really nitpicky.
Kind of lessens him in a way, you mean, sort of, in a strange way.
I think so.
Yeah, but that's not a bad view from there. And Goldfinger, like I said, is perfectly warranted to be position 2 or position 1. Truthfully, from there, when we switch it onto From Russia with Love, which is both of our number ones now, God, where do I start on this one? Right. It's a spy thriller for one. It is a proper edge of your seat, nail biting. Then it doesn't need high level action with big explosions everywhere and loads of henchmen running around and it's kept to its bare quintessential, very close to its book run. I love the sequence on the Orient Express. I love the battle with Grant in the cart. I love the fact that gadgets are so toned down, but they're present. And it doesn't lessen Bond. He's got a laser watch to go and blow up a bomb quickly and all that. It felt realistic. I think Daniele Abbianti was a beautiful Bond girl. Tatiana. Absolutely gorgeous, to be honest with you. Yeah. But I love also the introduction to Spectre, because although it happened in Doctor No, we didn't really know a lot about Spectre on the screen at that point. And this was our first introduction. It was the faceless Blofeld sitting behind the screen, still pulling strings. And, we had Kronstein and Klebb as these little cronies, and they were brilliant. They were people you spent a lot of time with in the movie. It wasn't just focused on Bond's character. It was focused on their plot. So the pacing was wonderful. Absolute joy to watch. No question why it was my number one.
Well, there you go. No, I have got things to say.
See you next week.
But ditto. So I had such a joyful experience watching this movie, and it's still, this and Thunderball are the highlight of our rewatches so far. Thunderball because I really didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. This it is a gorgeous film. It looks better than most of Sean Connery's other movies. How is this film made in 1963? It looks just as good today as it did. What is it? What is it? 80 years now? No, 60 God. Years. Sorry, I'm on about 62 years, isn't it?
We've watched this on Blu-ray, haven't we? High definition Blu-ray, which now brushes up the movies. That is even more misleading, really, isn't it?
It is.
You know.
So yeah, I think. Go on.
No, go on. I'll just finish off the last bit. Go on. Yeah, go on.
No, so yeah, I think there's so I love the gypsy camp fight in the middle.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of things that you haven't said, like Grant, the beginning scene where we see James Bond being hunted and killed, and you're like, you know, you imagine that in 1963, watching that in a cinema, and then somebody peels Bond's head face off. And it's not him. Incredible.
You would lose your mind. You would absolutely lose your shit, wouldn't you, at that point? You know,
Grant is so good when he's on the train with them, holding, equaling Bond in acting. I mean, Robert Shaw, one of my all-time favorite actors. 12 years before he's punching a shark in the face, or at least being eaten by one. You know, he's so good in this film as Grant and Red Grant. And if you said,
would you agree? Top 5 henchmen?
Oh, as henchmen, yeah.
As henchmen,
I think so. I think it definitely would be in my top 5. And I feel like this is the most Cold War movie I've ever seen. It's so, you know, it's just perfect.
It's height.
Perfect film.
Height of it. Yeah. That's intriguing, really. So, what's really interesting there, Chris? So, we've seen our now ratings from there. It'd be interesting to understand how that looks against our former ratings, where we just watched.
Would you like to see?
I can't even remember what we've done, so this is interesting. What have we?
So what we're doing now is we're going to look at this ranking against how our films rank based on the scores that we gave out of 10. So here's yours. Completely different.
Right, so Goldfinger's still at the top 2, and From Russia with Love. It's still there, isn't it?
But Goldfinger's quite high above. I think I still think I think the only thing for me with yours is, you know, is fairly similar. That score for On Her Majesty's Secret Service still surprises me. But other than that,
I think that was judged by the era that we were watching the films in order, anything from there, because we'd seen better by that time. From there, and I was also aware that we've got another 15 or so films. I want to leave the higher scores somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Of course not.
So maybe we were too generous at the beginning.
How are you feeling about that?
Well, look, like you said, a lot of it's still similar. I mean, you only have twice as where it is. Not much difference between 1 and 2.
Thunderball and On Her Majesty's Secret Service are the only swaps, really.
They are, yeah. So yeah, not dramatically surprised actually. I could look at it and go, yeah, I did that. I mean, I did, but you know what I mean?
It's like, you did, yeah.
It's fair. So yeah.
No. I completely agree. And mine is actually exactly the same, other than Thunderball and On Her Majesty's Secret Service were joint third, and then
and on that note, how do you feel about that?
It makes me confident in the scores that I was giving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it made me feel better about the scores.
That you weren't wrong, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I will just share with you as well. So earlier on, we didn't get a chance to go through it, but Lorenzo very kindly put his own ranking up on the screen. So he's
fantastic. Let's hear it.
He's put there Dr. No. So we'll go Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Golden Finger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and then Diamonds Are Forever. So he's also, it looks like he's putting it at the bottom, Diamonds Are Forever, as we have.
So must Dr. No is wait,
number one.
Are we? You should.
Oh no, it's not a ranking.
I don't know if that's the ranking. That's
do let us know, Lorenzo, if we've got that wrong.
Is that the ranking, or is that because that's just consecutive order? So I don't know.
He said, "My opinion, the ranking movies are in order."
You're right. You're right. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
So he likes them cinematically, and there's nothing wrong with that because it still aligns to pretty much where we were.
Definitely. And Lorenzo, tell us where On Her Majesty's Secret Service would slot into that. Would that slot in the normal place, or would it go somewhere different?
The biggest thing to answer right now, guys, is whether you're watching us live or you're watching this recorded years later or whatever, did we get it right or wrong? There isn't a right or wrong answer to it, but of course, put your rankings in the comments. We will reply back to you, and we'll have some banter going on about that, a little bit like that in the future. How's that sound?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I was saying you're up for a bit of that.
Sounds good.
There we go.
Sounds good. Yeah.
That's been really, really enlightening. And obviously, as you said, we will move on to Roger Moore now. We've started Live and Let Die. So go back to our film review after this video if you wish. Check it out. It's a really fun ride. I think you will underrate how much we loved Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die was,
probably the most high octane excitement we've had since we've done a review. Don't you think?
I was blown away by that movie. It would have made, if we were having to slot it into that list, it would have been third. You know, it was really good.
I completely agree, mate. And I think the ratings are fair, the reasons are fair, but as I said, we could be wrong and probably are. If you look at somebody else in the world somewhere else, mate. Chris,
it's all opinion.
Before we dash, mate, have you got anything that you would like to plug to the guys, highlight what's on the way, or anything like that?
Before I do, Carl has given us his views. So Carl says, Carl's got Goldfinger #1, then From Russia with Love, then Thunderball, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Doctor No, Diamonds Are Forever.
Diamonds.
I love that list.
Again. It comes
love that list.
Again.
Let us know where You Only Live Twice falls as well. But I love that. I love those choices. I'm glad Thunderball's up there for you as well. I love that.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're in the ranking, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, is there anything from you, mate, that you would like to plug in for these guys? Let them know.
Only, I mean, like, just thank you for watching, for continuing to watch. Can't believe we've been a year and we've still got people who are actually watching. So we love that. Thank you so much. Go and, you know, wherever you're watching from, go and hit us up on the other platform, because that would be incredibly helpful to us. And I'm sure in the future we are looking at getting onto proper podcast services as well. I will just plug my other YouTube channel, Geek Figure Fan. We've got loads of reviews that have been coming out around Christmas time, so please come and join us there as well. But other than that, that is it from me, mate.
Perfect. Well, we've got some really fun stuff coming for you guys this year. We mentioned new plans. We're looking at some sort of out and about podcasts. We're looking at some special events. We're looking at collaborations. We will be teaming up with Really 007 a little bit later in February, which will be fun. And on top of that, we've got our gaming review, our next part of Everything or Nothing. And finally, I missed it out. We are back in 2 weeks' time, so come and join us for our live review of The Man with the Golden Gun. Apart from that, like Chris said, subscribe on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Hit us up. We are just absolutely dying for subscribers and views. We love our community, and we want to see it grow and flourish.
I might be wrong, but I think we've also got, maybe before, no, it'll be after, won't it? But we're also going to be doing a ranking of, or I'll talk about our favourite pre-title sequences as well soon, aren't we? I'm really looking forward to that.
We are, yeah. So you've got almost... So
that'll be after Man with the Golden Gun, I guess.
There's going to be a 3 consecutive weeks of Bond podcasting with us. So
you'll be sick of us.
Come and join us and join in with the fun. And as ever, it's not about us. It's about our community out there. We would love to hear your views and points as we go along.
And thanks to the people that have been interacting as well. Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Manny. It's been really great speaking to you both. And you've got some great thoughts on Bond, better than us. So
Lorenzo,
can't wait for your podcast.
Well.
Yeah.
Thanks to see Lorenzo back with us.
Yeah, it is.
I think the other thing we can say at that point, Chris, is just to thank you all for joining us this evening on the Bondcast.
The ultimate Bondcast.